Stephanie Williams is in her bag once again with this one-shot of Star Trek Deviations Threads of Destiny featuring Nyota Uhura. You already know what to do. Get your tricorder, beam me up, and roll that intro, cuz. Yeah. What's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy, Earthsmack the Mad Scientist, and welcome back to the Orange Phoenix Media channel, one of the hottest up-and-coming black comic book YouTube channels on this side of the Dakotaverse. So today, we are covering a one-shot, Star Trek Deviations Threads of Destiny by Stephanie Williams. And the feature of this book is Nyota Uhura. Now, I will tell you straight out the gate, I'm not a Trekkie. Huh? However, I am willing to be one. I am open-minded, okay? I know about the greatness that is Star Trek. I know about the legend that is Star Trek because I was more of a Star Wars guy. You know, back in the day, you kind of choose between Star Trek and Star Wars, and I was more of a Star Wars guy. But you know what? I am open-minded. And one thing for sure that is not lost on yours truly is that Nyota Uhura is one of the mainstays when it comes to Star Trek, okay? Especially the sexy, the sultry, God rest her soul, Nichelle Nichols. Now, I had the pleasure of seeing Michelle at a few conventions before her passing, and listen, she is such a nice person to actually be around. So yes, continue, God rest her soul. So her legend continues in this book, and Stephanie is definitely in her bag when it comes to this book. Like, Stephanie don't miss, okay? Stephanie does not miss. Like, if you read Nubia, you know she don't miss. Her own book, Temporal, she don't miss. Roots of Madness, she does not miss, okay? And now when you get this one shot of Threads of Destiny, yes, it definitely brings me to a point where I really want to read more of Star Trek. And listen, go ahead and get Stephanie on these Star Trek books. How about that? Yeah. You know, if you want her to just do Nyota Uhura, just give her Nyota Uhura, man. Just go ahead and give it to her because she can cook out here. You know what I'm saying? She can flambe out here, okay? She can saute out here. But we're going to jump into it. I will tell you this, though. I'm not going to spoon feed you the information. I will broad stroke it because I want you guys to go to your LCS and get this book, okay? So let's get into it. So when it comes to Uhura, she gets transported back in time. She gets transported to the civil rights movement. She gets transported to the 60s. And the first place she gets transported to is this grocery store. Unbeknownst to her, it is a segregated grocery store because the janitor immediately berates her like, look, you ain't supposed to be here. Like, can't you read? Like, don't you read the sign? And immediately she's like, look, my apologies. I didn't mean to intrude. I just need some help. He's like, help? Folks like you shouldn't even be over here. Are you blind or something? You stupid? Now, see, here's the thing here. Here's the thing. I know full well if this man was to put his hands on Uhura, it would have turned out well for this man. I mean, boots the ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would get thrown against the shelves. I mean, he would have got embarrassed. He wouldn't even have time to call the sheriff. He wouldn't have time. But at the point in time, like, Nyota is really in shock at this point because, like, what did I do? My bad for being in your area. My bad. But to her aid is Daniel. Daniel shows up and says, hey, listen, forgive my friend. She's new in town. She don't know about any of the rules down here. Allow me to take her out. You know, allow her to take her out back. And he said, listen, the freaking entrance is in the back. Don't let me catch you around here ever again. And so that when Nyota, you know, antenna strode up. She was like, excuse me? Like who you think you're talking to?
Man, you a bitch. You a bitch.
Now immediately Dan was like, whoa, hold up. He's like, yes, sir. Sorry, sir. Don't worry about it. He said, yo, y'all, I'll be fixing to be sorry too if you don't go. Now, obviously, you know, that broken English or whatever. So Daniel tells her, let's get out of here. Because Nyota was ready to put boots to ass right here. She was ready to go. Now, from that standpoint, Nyota basically tells Daniel she is part of this theater group. I mean, clearly she can't tell Daniel, I traveled through space. I traveled through time to get here. This is my uniform. We have a lot of advanced technology. There's no way on God's green earth that Daniel was going to believe any of that stuff. So she says, I guess my clothes do stand out. We were on our way from a performance when it happened. And he said, yeah, you look like you stepped out from another world. Bro don't know how close he is. He said, listen, I hate to impose on you further, but I need to find a more welcoming place to wait until I can meet back up with my group. And so that's when Daniel mentions Ella Baker, because he says, my friend Josephine's godmother, Miss Baker, visited a few weeks back with one of my dad's activist friends. She got us started with organizing. I was scouting for our first protest while also picking up items we don't have at the store on our side of town, the colored side. And that's when she said, wait, you talking about Miss Baker, Ella Baker? He's like, yeah, the one and only. She's been behind the movement for years. There'll be no student nonviolent coordinating committee without her. He said, listen, I can hear the passion in your voice. Courage is everything. Where I come from, we stand strong and fight for what's right, no matter the cost. And Daniel's like, yeah, exactly. This is what this is. So Nyota is in a very unique situation because in the beginning of the book, her and her crew basically landed on this planet that shows different points in history. So they can actually go to those different points in history. And the point that she saw was someone that looked just like her. And when she went into that portal, this is where it took her. Now, out of the historical figures that she's seen here is Dr. Martin Luther King. And even Dr. Martin Luther King knows about Ella Baker. And he says, I decided to stick around you for a few more days. I'm glad I did. Your dedication and courage inspires me. Thank you, young folks, for your commitment to justice. Miss Ella Baker spoke so highly of you all. As I'm sure you've heard her say this before, give light and people will find a way. I'm proud to say each of you is the beacon of hope, and I hope to be honored to have you join us in Washington in August. So she ends up joining a peaceful protest, and obviously the crew finds her and takes her away. Now, the thing is, don't want to spoil it for you, but she learns more about Ella Baker. Now, I feel like this story highlights the strength of the civil rights movement, because in this climate, in this day and age, it seems as though that our history is constantly tampered with. It constantly, attempts to take it away. And the fact that these stories are being told in this book and telling you the impact on African Americans in this country of the United States, that for people to read in the comic book form, because you do have people that are Trekkies, and there are people that are UHURA fans, black, white, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. So when they see something like this and they see this one shot and they see the impact of Black Americans that may be lost on them, they can go further and read more about these historical figures. So I like the fact that this is a perfect avenue to go research other things. So for me, yes, I'm well aware of Dr. Martin Luther King and other historical figures. But for me, it makes me more invested into Star Trek because there may be more stories that goes back in time like this. Obviously, every story is not like this, but obviously Stephanie Williams was definitely in her bag when it came to this. And this was really, to me, it was a think piece. To me, it was a think piece on our Black history. And this came out the same day as the new history of DC, the Dakota incident. So trust and believe, I picked up that book and I picked up Threads of Destiny because Stephanie has been advertising this book on Threads and all over social media. So I highly recommend this book for you guys to get. I did skip across a few good parts of this, quite a few good parts of this book, because I want you guys to go to your LCS and pick up this book. And if it just so happened to be sold out, you go to that store clerk and you said, hey, I need more of one shots of Threads of Destiny. And if they just so happen to be sold out of the Dakota incident, do the exact same thing, because guess who else is writing in that book? Stephanie Williams. That's who else is writing. That's who else is writing this book. So you get not one, but two Stephanie specials on the same freaking day. Now that is dope as all get out. So now You already know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell, because when you hit that notification bell, there's a little drop down box that says all. When you select all, you get notified on all of our content, whether it's live or recorded. Go to your LCS, get this book. See you guys next time. Peace.